Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Am I the Asshole? If you like hearing Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could give us a like or subscribe. Let's dive into our first story. Am I the asshole for not checking to see if my wife locks the door? I, 34 male, had a brief time a few months ago where my wife, 32 female, found our front door had been left unlocked overnight a couple of times. We were home. She said this made her uncomfortable. Who left it unlocked? Who's to say? Maybe me. I can own up to that. So I started making a strong habit of making sure I always lock the door when I come in the house, even if I'm going to be going back outside quickly. Problem solved, right? Well, fast forward to now, and all of a sudden my wife comes to me and says, "What can we do to make sure you check to see if the door is locked at the end of the night?" This is like 3 now that I've brought it up. I go to bed before you, so it should be your responsibility. Now I know she was the last one home yesterday. Neither of us left the house after she got home. So she left the door unlocked last night and is mad at me for not checking behind her. I explained my perspective and the change in habit I had made, but she keeps on with saying since I am usually the last one awake, I should be checking the door and is now being terse, short with me. I can see logic to both our rationales, but am I being unreasonable to think she's being a touch ridiculous about this? She left the door unlocked, didn't say that she did, and got mad at me for not checking behind her. I don't think you're an asshole, but whoever is up last should do the final check. There's always a chance someone could have stepped outside for some reason after both of you got home from work. You should both make a concerted effort to lock the door when you come in. But if you're the last person up, is it really that hard to take 90 seconds to make sure doors and windows are locked up? I'm assuming you don't live in a mansion where there are numerous entrances to the property. Check the front door, back door, make sure the garage is closed and windows shut. Easy peasy. I think it's easier than that. Assuming you both would prefer door is locked at night, you both make sure door is locked on way to bed. Issue only arises if last one to go opens after first goes to bed and forgets to lock again. So both are 100% responsible. Easy. Exactly. Both people should check to see the door is locked when they go up to bed. That way, it's unlikely they'll both forget. Get keypad entry with auto lock after 1 or 2 minutes feature. You can pick them up at Lowe's or order online. It saved a lot of arguments between me and my spouse with ADHD, who forgets to lock the door. It's not a matter of being an AH. I always check all the doors before I go to bed. Just make it part of your daily routine. Whoever's last to bed should make sure the door is locked. No one is the asshole here. But, as a woman, I'm really paranoid about it, and sometimes, always, like someone else to confirm the door is indeed locked. So maybe she just wants to feel safe and have you confirm she is safe. Am I the asshole for confronting my uncle on a $700 debt while he brags to his family about a surprise vacation to Maldives for his daughter as a Christmas present? Last September, my uncle Daniel, 43, came up to me, 22, looking all stressed and asked if I could have a sit-down with him as he needs a favor. He begun to speak on how he was really on a rough financial spot, and he really had nowhere to turn to as he didn't have anyone to ask for a loan from, and I was the only one left available. Mind you, I'm not rich or anything of the sort. I just happened to have the amount he needed at the time. According to him, it was a serious situation that he couldn't approach or tell other guys in the family, and the issue needed to be addressed soon. Without better judgment, I lent him the cash after much insisting from him. We agreed on payment before December, and I didn't even ask for any interest on it. With lots of hugs and words, he took it and gave me his word on the paying it. Fast forward, and we are now at Christmas dinner at my grandma's house, and all that time, I didn't give him any reminders or a checkup. I assumed he was late or something, and he would let me know why at Christmas dinner, because the larger family meets every year for that. He also didn't call or say anything to update on his situation, and I just had to trust all was well. Now, on a related side note for later, my cousin Aisha, 20, Daniel's daughter, recently underwent surgery a while back as she really had it tough for the whole of last year while she recovered from a traumatic back injury from an accident. Everyone was enjoying their meal, and suddenly my uncle stood up at the dinner table and called for attention for a speech. He began to speak on how his business took a really huge boost, and long story short, how he has just cashed in a large profit from some deals. He looked at Aisha across the table and took out some brochure with some resort-looking location and said it was a gift to her for her tough recovery from the incident. All I could see was Aisha visibly crazy excited. Someone asked what it was exactly, and Daniel said he was planning on taking Aisha and the rest of his family to the Maldives as a celebration on Aisha's accident recovery. Everyone was now happily cheering Aisha on her gift, as it seemed it was something she always wanted to experience. You can afford all that, but not repay my debt, which you haven't said anything on. The words just slipped out of my subconscious mind as I looked at him straight in the eye. His words were, "Why are you talking about that now, of all places?" Now I was pissed. I reminded him, in front of everyone, on the exact amount, and I told him the fact on how he wasn't even communicating on repaying it. The entire family was in shock with dead silence as my mom hurriedly changed the subject to avoid an escalation of the situation. Later on, in the evening, my aunt, grandma, and some cousins began to lecture me on how I ruined Aisha's moment after her struggles and embarrassed my uncle in the process. They leave in a week, and he still hasn't paid or mentioned anything on the debt. Am I the asshole for ruining the moment and asking for repayment? Not the asshole. Never loan money to family, because they are never going to pay you back shit. Your uncle sucks, and you should feel free to talk shit to his face until he pays you back, which will be never. Yeah, never again. Especially him. He still hasn't addressed anything. If he had said something, maybe I wouldn't have said anything at dinner. I see why he didn't go for help to any other person. He never intended to pay you back. That's why he wanted it secret. I'm sorry. Not the asshole. This situation came about because of him and his choices. At worst, you're a justified AH. Stop assuming. Start being assertive. Become more vocal about expecting payment and issue a deadline. Tell your family you heard their concerns, but at present you need that money back. And this is your repayment for doing a good deed for a family member. Your grandma should have been on your side and told him how disappointed she was. Her grown-ass son borrowed money from you and did not repay it on time. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.